Good morning, Pleasant Valley. It's so nice to see some faces today. I'm so excited that a bunch of you were able to hop on the Zoom. Just makes it feel a lot more connected and happy, in my opinion. So, today for Vespers, we have decided to kind of break away from our typical Vespers. We're not going to talk about any type of value or virtue this week. Instead, we're going to kind of follow in Northwood's footsteps and talk about our counselors and get to know some of our counselors even more, hear about their stories of why they came to camp, who they are, what they're doing now, all that good stuff, and just hear and listen, kind of like a nice little early morning story time. So if you have questions throughout it and you want to throw it in the chat or throw it in if you're on the Zoom, feel free. Today, I am excited to welcome our first guest speakers. They're so brave, so great that they're here today. And it is Nadia and Emily. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Would you mind introducing yourselves in the camp fashion? Maybe name, pronouns, years at camp, and I don't know, favorite type of shoe? Yeah, let's go with that.
This is the first real camp intro in a long time. My name's Nadia. This is gonna be my 5th year at camp. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm forgetting. Oh, I'm from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, which is where we are right now. My favorite shoe. I gotta go with my Vans.
Stole mine. I'm Emily. This is my 11th, 12th summer at camp.
I think so.
That's aggressive. 12th summer at camp. I'm also in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin right now. My favorite shoe is also my Vans. So don't know what to tell you. We're not that exciting.
So great. No, Vans are good shoes though, especially at camp because they're just like a sneaker, like a closed-toed shoe, but you don't have to actually tie them. It's a great time. So I'm curious because I don't think I actually know these stories for you guys, but what is your coming to camp story? Why did you come to camp? When did you come to camp? What made you choose Pleasant Valley over other experiences?
Okay. So I came when I was 8, so I didn't have much of a say in it, but I was pretty down to come. I had gone to a lot of other camps in the past, and I just didn't like them. I went to a horse camp because I was a horse girl, um, and the lake, you literally couldn't see the bottom of this lake. It was that disgusting. So I don't know. It was really nice coming to PVC and just the lake's so pretty and the land is so nice and it's just nice.
I was telling myself that I was gonna think about my answer, but I didn't. How old was I? Well, 5 years ago, I would have been 13. So I was 13 when I first came. I was a senior in Pleiades, and it's pretty great. I came. My uncle first said that I should go, and I was actually really scared because I had never been I'd never even been on a plane or anything, so I had to fly myself all the way out to Boston, and so that was kind of scary. But yeah, he said he thought it would be a good experience for me and my siblings. So me and my sister went, and then the next year my brother came, and it's been yeah.
Still got 2 more to come.
Yep.
Nice. And why did you stay? What about our camp made you feel like you could stay here forever and continue on to becoming staff members that you are today?
I think it's all just the unwritten things of camp almost. It's just the vibe, and the people there that make it worthwhile and want to come back even through a pandemic. it's still like become like a second home and like a very important like piece of my life that I just have to go back to.
I think for me, I had a lot of great like counselors in the past, so just like having them and like seeing them and like what they do and like all they do for their campers, like I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be me, and that was me. So it's great.
That's awesome. Those are really good answers. I agree. I think I keep coming back for the people and for the activities and just that feeling of being your true self and having fun. And it's just like Nadia said, even now, just being in the pandemic, it's all anyone wants is to go back and just have that little bubble. So talking about camp year, so Nadia, this is your 5th, get the pin, so exciting. And Emily, you said 11, maybe 12, around there. What year was your favorite? Do you have like a specific year in your memory that was just the most fun or anything like that? And why was it your favorite?
I'm gonna say my AC year because I feel like every year, like at camp, has just topped itself, and so I guess that was like the last like real year I guess we were there. But I don't know, it was my first like summer there, and I had the same people in my cabin, and I got really close to them, and all summer. So I don't know, I just really actually like felt like I started to really feel a part of camp because I like my first year as a senior, like I didn't like know all the traditions and stuff, and then I was going into CIT year, like still kind of learning, and then learning how to teach the stuff that I'm still learning how to do. So I don't know, AC year really felt like really solid and connected, and I don't know, it was great.
I also am gonna say AC because just like I felt like I was able to connect more with like the counselors and like also the kids because I was given like that position where I could like connect with them, like all of them, which is really nice. Like I didn't have to like when I was a CIT focus on the one cabin I was given. Like I was in activities, teaching activities, seeing everybody, and just getting to know camp on that level instead of like a camper level was really cool.
That's awesome. I think I would personally disagree. I liked CIT year best, but that's just my opinion. But all for the same reasons that you just said, just having a little bit more of a like foothold in the camp community and knowing what you wanted to do, knowing how to take charge in your like day-to-day activities, and then having those connections, right? Like making friends like we do every year, but almost at a deeper level because it was like adult friendship on staff instead of, I'm going to see you once a year at camp, but still those friendships as a camper are the best. So I'm curious a little bit more about your friendship in particular. When did you guys meet at camp? Were you friends from the beginning? Did you like hate each other at first? How did you guys become friends at camp?
Well, CIT year. We met CIT year. I remember specifically what happened actually. I was playing guitar, and I was a little shy of me, and I like, of course, love music myself, and I wanted to be a part of the jam sesh. So I truck on over, and I just like kind of just inserted myself into the sing along, and yeah, we kind of just started playing guitar and singing, and that kind of happened.
Yeah, but what'd you think of that?
I was kind of.
What was your like
Here's the
opinion
thing.
on
I
me?
was scared of everybody, so
I think your exact words were, "I was intimidating."
yeah, I was a little scared.
I don't think I'm intimidating.
That's my. What was yours? Your first impression.
That was the first time.
Yeah, well,
That was the question. You answered the question.
I think that's fair. As someone who knows Emily pretty well, I can agree that she can be a little intimidating when you first meet her. She's really cool, very talented, very tough. So I get that, Nadia. It's all right. That's so great.
I have
So
jaws in my mouth. How do I look intimidating?
you're just tough. You've always been tough in the best way possible. You're sure of yourself. It's great. What made you guys want to become staff? Because you guys both were campers for a couple years to a long time for Emily. So what made you want to become staff? Did you guys go through, you both said you went through the CIT program. Did you also do LIT? What was that journey like for you guys?
So I did LIT and CIT, but I think just going back to one of the earlier questions I answered, it's just like the past counselors I've had, like the counselors that are still at the camp now, like some of the camp, like I had counselors that are still counselors now, and now I'm a counselor with them. So like it's crazy. So it's like all those like really good role models for counselors that I had just really wants me to be a good, makes me want to be a good one.
I think for me it kind of like settled in CIT year when I like was first able to like be with a cabin and like almost like being like I got really close with them and like actually felt like I was a part of that cabin and then like missed them when they left and had a new one like switched to like dishes and so I think it was just like at first I thought like oh yeah I want to be a counselor and then I was like a counselor and I was like dang I really want to be a counselor so
Yeah, that happens for a lot of people where you try out our programs like the LIT and CIT program, and for a lot of people it's kind of a you assume you want to be a counselor because that's the natural progression at our camp, and then you get to those situations where a camper looks up to you, or you can run an activity and the campers are all having a really great time and it kind of clicks. You're like, oh my gosh, this is what I needed, this is why I'm here. And it's a really great feeling. I love that. Thank you guys for sharing. I'm having a great time just listening and hearing all about you guys.
Did you
So
purposefully put yourself in front of that so that it would look like you have?
do I have horns? I go really close. Now I have horns. So thinking of all of your past experience, I'm curious about your favorites now. So I want to know about your favorite cabin, when it was, which cabin it was, why it was your favorite, and your favorite activity at camp. So you can take a second, think about it, because I know Emily, you've been through a lot of cabins, many, many years. But yeah.
I don't even remember like my first couple of years.
how will I go well I've only had one camper cabin can I do my like is that like, yeah
Yeah, you could do camper cabin. You could do like as you're a staff member, any cabin, just you living at camp.
I'm gonna say my first session cabin, my ACU, because we had 6 people or 6 campers, and the rest of the sessions were all full. So it was obviously we just got a lot closer with all the campers, and it was very chill. And being like my first actual session, I thought it was a good like stepping stone. But I really liked them. They were all pretty like all the campers were all chill with each other, and they didn't have like any like problems, I guess. Um, but yeah, they were good, and I think they were they allowed like me and my other like co's to like kind of get our groups together and figure out how we were going to work together as counselors. So yeah, I think I think that was beneficial and also one of my favorite sessions.
What physical cabin was it? Do you remember?
Aquarius.
Oh, okay, Aquarius. I've never lived in Aquarius, but everyone I know that's lived there says it's a great spot too. Just like with looking at the lake and having kind of off to the side a little bit, everyone loves it.
Not too far away, like Pegasus, but still, she's still in there.
Very nice.
I'm gonna say my CIT year, because the same people I did LIT year with, pretty much just we all got moved up together, which was great. We all knew each other, and then we got some kids from like the 1-2. So it was really just like a refined version of like the LIT cabin. So just like already knowing them and like just being in the same cabin and getting to know them even more, and like, you know, those are the people you're going into staff with, so it's good to know staff members, all your friends. Yeah. So I got.
All right. And then favorite activities. I think I know them, but other people watching this Zoom might not. And tell me why you like these activities. What about them really just makes them your favorite?
I'm gonna have to go with archery. I think it's such a like I'm not very good at like team sports like soccer and like basketball. It's not really my thing. So like it's in archery is like a very like individual thing, and I think it allows you to like have a time to like just like mentally have a break and like focus on one thing, but also just like being up on like the upper ball field and kind of just like being away from like how like lower camp. Um, it's just calming up there and chill and yeah, I like archery.
I like riflery. um, okay, Emmeline was actually my favorite archery head. She really did just make riflery my favorite. And it's just so great. You just get to go up to the shed, and I take naps up there on like the mats. It's great. It's calming. You just get to like breathe and shoot. It's great.
It is great. I love both of those activities. And I think I can speak on behalf of our entire camp community that those are two of some of the biggest favorites out of all of our campers. Every year they like are full for our activities because people just line up to take them. Yeah, rifle does have a special place in my heart. I am a little biased because I've taught it for so long and just done it as a camper, but I agree. It's both of those activities. You have that opportunity to kind of hone in on your own skills, but also step away from the craziness that camp can be. And I mean, we all love camp and we love how exciting it can be, but to be at either range, it kind of lets you center and kind of take a moment and be like, okay, I'm going to do something for myself. And I'm with people that like to do this also, so we can talk about it and learn together. And it's both of them are such great opportunities and so great. I agree. They're my favorites. But I'm glad to hear that. Let's see. Any other favorites that are good or any other questions? Does anyone else in our Zoom have any questions for?
This one might be hard to think of something, but if you guys have like a favorite specific camp memory, I always love to hear those. Or maybe like from an overnight trip or something. I always love those stories.
I've never been on an overnight trip. 12 years, never been on an overnight trip. We don't have to talk about it though.
No, we have to talk about that. How have you not been on an overnight?
I don't know. Every year, every single session, it gets rained out and I don't get to go on one. I've been to freaking Chases so many times.
All right, so you've been to Chases, you've done Chases.
No, as like
we went as a
As
a
staff,
village.
that's it. I've only gone as staff. Other than that, I've gone to Shane.
Yeah, okay. So you've done your Shangri-Lovers. Do you have any memories
those
of
fun.
those?
No, I have plenty of camp favorite memories.
All right, pick a
Not
different.
just not from an overnight.
That's fine. We'll get you on an overnight someday.
I know.
I was gonna say my first overnight as um if we just like I don't know. I think my campers like I think they kind of like we all got up there to Chase's and I feel like they all kind of like let their guard down a little bit and they all were just like one big happy family, you know, and it was really great because they weren't having like they weren't clicking the best at the beginning to say the least. So it was a nice bonding session. It was really fun, and also like the struggle of building the fire and everything, and like getting everything set up, and like hauling the food out to our bear trap is, you know, it was an experience.
I think mine is my AC year. I had a camper and she was like had gotten into it with some of the other girls in the cabin. She was like upset on the porch, so I went out to go stay with her and I was just trying to get her to like cheer up. I didn't know what she would like because it was like the second day, and so I was just like, "What do you like?" And she just goes off about snails. So I'm sitting there for like an hour and a half listening to her talk about snails, and it was the best because she was just so happy. Like she was so happy about these snails. I like really wanted to go find her one. I was that invested in the conversation, and it was just so pure to just like sit there and like watch her go from sad to like happy, just from talking about this one simple thing. That's so gross and slimy.
I feel like it's always like cool to see a snail. Like you see one, you're like, wow. It's like I'm never gonna see one of those again because you like never see them ever. It's not in Wisco. I don't know.
Fair. Those are good stories. I like those. A little bit of the overnights and a little bit of that one-on-one time where you just really get to experience and learn about a camper and get them to feel better about themselves at camp, which is always a really great achievement. I like those. Do you guys have any funny memories of camp? Like anything that you really remember is just making you belly laugh?
Yeah. You probably remember this. It was your cabin when you were the LIT director, and you guys had a chipmunk or a squirrel or something. All the LITs were just like up on their like trunks or whatever, and this thing was just running through your cabin. I think we caught it in like a
Caught it in like a
can.
yeah.
We tried to catch it. Noah, hold on. We first tried to catch it with the plastic bag, but then it got through the plastic bag.
Ripped the plastic bag open. So then we had to corner it. That was
It was
fun.
under your bed. We tried to move like all your stuff because you had like just this pile of crap under your bed.
Yeah, I had a lofted bed, so we had like all of my like shoes and fun clothes and bins of clothes were under my bed. But I was by myself that day because my co-counselor was off. So Emily was my CIT mentee, and I called her over. I said, "Hey, you're gonna help me catch this chipmunk because I don't know how to do it, and we're gonna figure it out together." And it took a while, but we got it. It was out of the cabin safely. It ran away into the woods, all nice and chipmunk-like. So everything worked out, but it was a good hour of us just running around kind of aimlessly trying to figure this out while all the LITs were on their bunks just like laughing and crying because a chipmunk was in the cabin. It was a good time. What about you, Nadia? Any good memories?
I remember I was always really scared to do the ugly counselor contest. And just my luck, like my two other co's just like they were both busy and like are working with like someone who was like sick or something. And just like I had to do it. And my cabin, they got together and we all sat down and we're like, guys, we got to think of something, right? And so our grand idea was to turn me into a grandma, and they thought it was the funniest thing that I was old and decrepit, and it. I mean, I had something to go into counselor with, and they were very much so satisfied with my presentation. So it was a win in my book, but I just remember just carrying out my my grandma persona for like the night and just entertaining them, and it was fun. It made Ugly Counselor not as scary as I thought it was going to be, and yeah, that was fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of our camp activities that involve counselors dressing up or embodying other personas, whether it be like Ugly Counselor Contest or just as hosts that are different people, like you're playing a character. It always does seem really daunting until you like just fall into it and you let yourself have fun and you let yourself roll with the mistakes. I know some of the funniest memories from those types of counselor activities from my brain are when counselors kind of messed up and they had to kind of roll with it, you know, like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this now. Or I know when I was a camper watching Ugly Counselor Contest many, many years ago, one of our counselors dressed up as a whale and her persona was a physical whale. Like that was it. She was a whale. So she had pillows all stuffed in her blue shirt and she laid on the ground and every question asked, every answer given was always just a whale noise. And she would roll across the room. Very random, but because she just kind of went in for it and just did it to her full extent, it was so funny. And to this day, I still remember it. So I get that. Yeah. That's all the questions I had for you guys. Does anyone else have anything else before we close out? Nothing? No? Everyone's good? Okay. Well, I wanted to say thank you to Nadia and Emily because they woke up early this morning and decided to help us out and talk about their camp experiences. And it really does make a big difference. I know I loved hearing your experiences, and I'm sure everyone here and everyone who watches this later on will also enjoy it. And it takes a lot to kind of be the first people to do this new type of Vespers experience for us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I also want to thank everyone here, Liz and Kat and the Bonafatos, and Jago's in the corner hiding, but thank you guys so much for coming because it does make it feel a lot more connected when more people are on the Zoom. Next month on the 14th is our next Zoom. We'll have more counselors joining us, so please come to that one, bring your friends, and happy Valentine's Day. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for coming.
Bye. Thank you
Bye.
guys.